Hi, it's the Nikki Rich Show. We are here live broadcasting out of Los Angeles, California. And today, guys, we have an amazing show for you. We have an amazing guest as well. But before we get to our guest, I want to let you guys know that I am Nikki Rich. You can check us out, thenikkirichshow.com. You can follow us on social media at The Nikki Rich Show, as well as on YouTube, Nikki Rich Show TV. Well, again, we have a featured guest. I'm excited. He is a best selling author, founder, CEO, international speaker, community leader, as well as a top 40 under 40 of entrepreneurs, a trader, seven figure trader, and so much more. So, with no further ado, we would like to welcome to the Nikki Rich Show, Chris Sain Jr. Welcome. How you doing?
Man, Nikki, thanks so much for having me first and foremost. Thank you. I'm happy to be here. I'm humbled to be here.
Yes, yes, and you are looking fly today in that blue.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I try to splash a little swag every now and then.
Yes. Now tell us a little bit about your background, where you from and where you based out of now.
So, I'm born and raised in Michigan. I'm from Grand Rapids, Michigan, to be specific. Come from a two-parent household. I was an athlete growing up. However, in that two-parent household, I had an older brother that went to prison for 25 years. And so sometimes people ask the question, how could two people from the same household have such a divergent path in life? And I often say that although we come from the same house, the choices and decisions we make were vastly different about what we chose to do, the paths we chose to go down for our lives. And so I say all that to say that it gave me a sense of purpose and focus young, and that's what kind of put me on a fast track to doing as well as accomplishing some of the things I was able to do at such a young age.
Yes. And you accomplished a lot. You graduated from Michigan as well.
Yup. Michigan State, Wayne State. I had listen to this, Nick. I earned my master's degree by the time I was 24. And
Wow.
I say that because I had a brother that was in prison for 25 years. And so again, I was always trying to I was always trying to, not be the stereotypical black guy from the inner city. I was determined to like show them, even though I come from this, I'm going to be more than what you guys expect of young black men from the inner city. And so I just went on to try to do exceedingly abundantly better than what they expected. And I was always driven by that. And that's largely how I accomplished so much stuff at such a young age.
Yes. And Rock 615 here said, this is so inspiring. Yes.
Definitely. Tell Rock major salute.
Now, who inspires you with all that you've done? Because, like you said, it's you coming from a rough area. Who inspired you to want to get your degrees and just be better?
Nikki, that's an awesome question. I'm one of those self motivated guys, first and foremost. It's within me, it's internal. That's number one. But number two, I was more inspired by things like, how we run up against certain barriers. So, like, if you,
Yes.
for example, if you don't have the education, they can easily say, "Oh, Nikki, we love you for this job, but if you had a bachelor's degree, this would be yours. You would be hired on the spot. Go back and get your degree." So it was stuff like, you know what? I see the system for what it is. I see how it works. I don't want nobody to have limitations on my life. So I went out and dominated college, got my degrees young so that I can go into the workplace and dictate how much I wanted to make, first and foremost, be eligible for positions I knew I was qualified for. And so it was that kind of thinking, not necessarily a person. It was like, man, I know how this system works and how it's set up. If I come lacking, they're going to use it against me. So I'm going to come with everything, and on top of having internalized motivation so that they can block me, stagnate me, stifle me, and things of that nature. And so it was that. And then The other thing was my brother. I alluded to him earlier. Having a brother in prison, oftentimes the family doesn't get any recognition for the toll it takes on us. You
Mm-hmm.
got a brother during that time, and I spent my childhood visiting him, always going up to the prisons. Didn't get to do the stuff other kids got a chance to do in terms of just being a kid, going to Disneyland and going to Cedar Point and all that. So I was always in the prisons, spending time with him. So when I got of age, I was like, man, I want to make sure I'm in position so that my brother don't have to take penitentiary chances when he comes home. I want to at least be that one family member that if he needed something, he could hit my line and I could stand in a gap and be there for him if he need be to keep him from making a poor decision. And so that was my focus as well as my motivation.
And also, I know you said your focus and motivation, but did you feel like it was a lot of weight on you as well? Even though you say, okay, I want to be the change, but it can be heavy.
It was a heavy load. I carried the mantle and it was heavy, but you know the Lord won't put more on you than you can handle. So
Hmm.
at the same time, the spiritual side of me knew that. I'm looking like, Lord, you ain't gonna put more on your boy than I can actually bear. And so I was like, I just got to make sure I'm doing my part to be able to carry this mantle, to be able to be somebody that my family can rely on, my brother can rely on. And so that's kind of what I did. So it was pressure, but at the same time, I was also at Michigan State at this time that I'm telling you about, Nikki. I was pursuing my dream of playing football and all that stuff. And so it was like, this is a means to an end. I need to get this right so I can be in position for this over here. And
Yes.
so the pressure was more on not being there for my family. It was making sure I finish school, do my part in the classroom, do my part on the football field. It was though that was the pressure, you know what I'm saying? And so I did have to, that's a great question. I did have to balance that.
And also, I know, at the same time, you ran into issues, to even better yourself, though, with having credit problems. Us going to college,
Yep.
didn't know a lot. You
Absolutely.
had to
That
learn that side of things too.
sure did. Sure did, man. I know I'm a junior, and so sometimes in a black household, you get bills in your name. You
Yes.
get you get stuff, you get stuff that you don't even really associate with you. And
Uh-huh.
so when you come of age and you try to go get a credit card or establish your own credit, you start realizing you already got credit established because you got a phone bill in your name or this in your name. So I had to, on one end, Nick, I had to clean up this side of my credit. Then I had to really establish my real credit. You know what I'm saying? And so it was always challenges along the way for anybody that going to accomplish anything in life. There's always those challenges, and I surely have mine with student loan debt and credit card debt, and it kind of was opened my eyes to not being a slave to the lender. And once I saw that, I'm looking like I'm gonna make sure when I get out of this situation, we ain't gonna never repeat this again.
Well, I understand. I'm the oldest, so everything fell on me that my brothers didn't have to deal with.
Yup.
So
I'm the
I
oldest too, so
understand
you
her
already
part.
know the older sibling responsibility. So Nick, that's pressure. Just the being the older sibling part of it
Yes.
too, and just being the example for your younger siblings and trying to stand strong even when we might be going through it.
Well, I was a good example because I got all the way up to, I got 2 more years of my doctorate. So I paved the
Let's
way.
go. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. And like you said, masters, all of that, we did it. It's not
Mm-hmm.
easy. And I came from a two-parent home. And, and I praise that because it's great, but also, people don't know how it is coming from a two-parent home as well. It has its ups and downs, but again, I was blessed to be, my parents was loving and success, you know, which was a blessing. But I try to talk about the success from that as well. Which people don't talk about it. Yes, families have up and down, but it
Yeah.
was a blessing to come from two parents because everybody don't have that.
They don't have it. I'm with you, Nikki, and that's a great point. I was more speaking of it from people like me and you that do come from two parent households. What also gets overlooked, people think you don't have no issues within that structure too,
Hmm.
though, is what I'm trying to like. My brother, he got both parents, but he still went to
Yeah.
prison for 25 years. Me, I went and graduated college by the time I was 24, master's degree and all that kind of stuff. Like, but my point is, I remember lights being cut off. I remember the arguments in the house. Like, you know how like the person, and we don't ever want to minimize no one else's experience, but
Hmm.
like the single household could sometimes falsely believe that we don't have no challenges in the two parent household. What if you got a toxic marriage? What if you have a toxic relationship? What if you have a toxic example being modeled in front of you? That's not always healthy to be part of either, even though you can technically say you got both parents. And so,
Hmm.
again, I like to speak to all those dynamics of the relationship because, like you attested to, you've seen the good and the bad. We just like to highlight the good most times.
Yes. And let's talk about not only at 24, you was shutting it down, getting your master's, but you retired at 37.
Oh yeah, I was determined to get to it, man.
Yeah.
Listen to that, man. I retired at 37, and that was all a matter. Still same trajectory, but that was a matter of like early on in my life. I'm that young guy that knew his purpose, knew what I wanted out of life. I wasn't wasting no wasted motions. For me, Nikki, I I'm a former athlete, so just know I see life through the lens of an athlete. But listen to this.
Yeah.
One thing about us athletes, it was a statistic that said most athletes go broke 3 to 5 years after they're done playing. That was my biggest motivation. Like I didn't want to be that athlete that went broke. You know him for having the
Hmm.
money, the big contracts, and then he was your favorite player when he played, and then now that his career over and he retired, 5 years later you hear him in bankrupt court or whatever. So that turned me on to the stock market. That turned me on to investing and building my wealth, saving my money, getting out of debt. That put me on a fast track to retire in my mid 30s. That's how I did that, Nick.
And trading, doing it
Oh, that
all.
and that just expedited it. The trading piece of it. That just takes it to another level, because it's a little quicker. Investing is, you oftentimes hear about compound interest, and so I might have put some money in 10 years ago, and now it has ballooned to hundreds of thousands. But the trading is something we can do right now. Like that money
Yes.
comes quick when you know what you're doing, and so that just supercharged my wealth. Yeah, but yeah, man, been on a journey for a long time, just living within my means, living below my means. Um, Always just staying on top of my things, making sure ownership was a premium for me. I own my houses, I own my cars. Never being flashy or flamboyant, but just being humble, trying to be a blessing to people, and I just kept it within that this whole entire time. Um, just to kind of show it's possible. Because think about being young, black, from the trenches, from the inner city. Very few people see that example of a regular person to do it. That's not an actor, a movie star, a celebrity, a athlete, or entertainer. And so when somebody regular does it, it hit a little different because I'm showing a whole different pathway to doing those same things and having that same level of wealth.
Hmm. That is so true. And let's talk about your author side, your writing side of things. You, I know you wrote two books.
Yep.
Now tell us a little bit about that.
So yeah, man. The first book was my baby. It's called Dumb Athlete: How My Biggest Fear Became My Biggest Motivator. Back to that title, okay? Again, I see the world through the lens of meaning I'm competitive. I'm self driven. I have a championship mindset. My glass is half full. But listen to this. I wrote that book because I promised myself, in my environment, they said we was going to be dead or in jail by 25. That was all I heard. That was the messaging. That was the programming. That's the kind of stuff our teachers would say to us when we was acting out in school. You
Hmm.
keep that up, you gonna be dead or in jail by 25. Y'all little boys in the neighborhood doing too much. Y'all keep, and we always heard that rhetoric. And when I was young, I just said, not me, man, not me. I'm not gonna be dead or in jail by 25. And so I wrote a book to show all that I had accomplished by the time I was 24, because according to the local news, according to the media, young black boys from the inner city supposed to be dead or in jail by 25. So I was just look, man, I'm one of the top entrepreneurs in the world. I done got my
Yes.
master's degree. I done did all of this phenomenal stuff, and I'm 24 years old. So Dumb Athlete was a culmination of my first 24 years to kind of just show anybody that might be in a similar position and they have the world bearing down on them, trying to tell them what they can't be. It was just a motivational book to share my journey of what I did and how I did to kind of achieve and reach some of the feats I was able to at such a young age.
And the second was Finding Real Love in the Love and Hip Hop Era.
Oh yeah, man, I had to go down through there, Nikki, and talk to them about relationships, because I got married, and that's been one of the best things that happened to me. Being married, having a good wife, having a support system, having somebody to
Hmm.
go through the good times with, the bad times with. And the Bible talks about a man that finds a wife finds favor.
Yes.
And I was able to find that favor and just settling down, getting out the bachelor life, and just finding my crown, my rib, my everything, so that now I can go to that next level, because now that the Lord can trust me, He can use me in the way He needs to. And so again, I had to write a book for young guys, because let's think about what you hear about here on social media now when it becomes relationships and the gender wars and all that. I wrote a book to kind of give a perspective that's oftentimes missed in all of this, just about how to lead, how to love, how to relate to your woman. Don't play with another man's future. If you know she ain't the right woman for you, let her go find the one that is for her. Don't you waste her
Hmm.
time. Don't you try to hold her down and keep her from being great. And so I spoke to those things way before it was the popular thing to be talking about online now. But that book did really well too.
That's amazing. And I love that. I love love. When people find the one,
Yeah.
and that's what we have to celebrate. People always try to shun marriage. Oh, I'm not ready, and it's not, people not getting married no more, and that's false. I don't want to be
Right.
old and alone.
I'm glad you said that. That's false. The narrative that's being pushed versus the reality is so different, man. And like, it's a lot of happy, loving, thriving, married people, or people like that. Like you said, Nikki, they love love. They
Hmm.
they they do desire to get married. They do want to be a wife.
Yes.
They do want to be a husband. And again, you have to navigate those social media waters a little bit different, because they have you thinking single moms ain't nothing, and black men don't like black women, and this and that and the third. And that's the farthest from the truth from those of us that's really living it, doing it. I've been married for 12 plus years now, and it's been the
Yeah,
best thing that happened to my life. You know what I'm saying? And so again, more of those stories need to be told,
it is.
so that the me and yous of the world could be the example, versus sometimes the narrative that we see being pushed on our
E-
community.
Yeah, even back in the days in the churches, they used to have like a single night, and people just get you prepared, for
Yep.
your man, and just different things we used to have back in the day that get you prepared for
Facts.
relationships and getting married and things that is not available now. So now everybody's just like, oh, I'm not getting married or whatever. It's not a thing
Yeah.
no more, and it is.
So true. So true.
It is. Yes. Now, what you got coming up that you can talk about?
So listen to this, man. I travel the world pretty regularly, and so I just got back from New Orleans yesterday to come see you, or this morning really to come see you. Next, I'm headed to Toronto. Now, what I do, I travel a lot. Part of being retired, I travel a lot, but to turn the vacation into a business, I go to these places and then I hold events. And so like New Orleans yesterday, well I was there Wednesday to yesterday. And so I'm gonna do this in Canada on Tuesday. I
Mhm.
go to these different places all around the world. We just pick different cities. So New York is coming up, Atlanta is coming up, Texas is coming up, but Canada is next. And so we do what's called a traders meetup. Anybody like to invest and or trade, and you've been part of my tribe or my community, when I come to your city, we just link up. We talk about money. We talk about finances. We talk about financial literacy. We have a good time with each other, love on each other, take pictures and all that kind of stuff. And so
Mhm.
that's what will be next in terms of the next city I'll be in, holding and hosting my next traders meetup.
Where can they sign up for the meetup?
They can get that information inside of my Patreon Discord. So we keep it exclusive to those members just because they are your loyal supporters. They rock with you on during the
Okay.
high and low times. And so I try to always extend the invitation to them first, like letting them know, hey, what city you guys want me to come to next, or do you guys want to go to this city next? And then if they say yes, then we just make the arrangements to go to that destination. Good cities, good warm weather, so that we can have a good time beyond talking about money and stocks and investing and all of that stuff. But inside my
Okay.
Patreon, they can sign up. They can also get to me on my website, chrissain.com, as well, if they just needed to tap in and learn what to do, learn about this life and how to invest and how to trade and how to read a chart and all those different things.
And you always speaking. You got any
Yes.
upcoming speaking engagements?
Yep. So that's a part of it too. Sometimes it really be the speaking engagements, Nikki, that has me going all over the world. So when I'm there, I'm looking like, man, I got to speak at this event. But this event might be for this person
Mm-hmm.
or this celebrity. So I might say, I'm going to go and be a blessing to them, but I'm going to have my crowd come out when we'll meet up after I'm done speaking at this venue. And so you
Okay.
see what I mean? We still tying it in, not infiltrating on maybe that, but still touching my base when I'm in that
Hmm.
particular city or town.
That's awesome. I love it. Look,
Yeah.
you global, so you're everywhere. Going from the U.S. to Canada and all over the world. That's pretty
I've
amazing, and
been
it's
I've
just
been
growing.
blessed, man. I think when you do good by people, they genuinely see that, Nikki. I think I'm a guy that makes myself accessible. I truly pour into people every day. I walk alongside them. I love on them. I affirm them, and like a lot of people that has discernment, you can feel it when it's real. You can't fake energy,
Hmm.
and so when I travel, they come, or they either saying, "Coach, come to my city. I got this hall. I know this venue. We can pack in 200 or 300 people there are," and so then and so they'll do the work for you sometimes, and I just be a vessel. I just show up and, like I say, pour into those guys or host a seminar or teach them a class or teach them something that's pertinent to what they want to know or need to know. And it's been a beautiful thing, man. It's been a blessing, but I think it comes back to, Nikki, like you said, doing right by people. It goes a long way with people.
It does. And people know that. They know what's real. Like I like what you said, real. You got to know what's real.
You
The
gotta
real
know what's
audience,
real.
the real supporters. That's who you focus on. Those who
Yep.
support you.
Yep. I had to tune out the trolls. I had to tune out the hate comments. I had to tune out those people, and like and it used to be more challenging than it is now, but I'm better at, like you said, Nikki, focusing on the people that support me, that love me, that genuinely show it, that text me every day, that call me, that do all of
Hmm.
this stuff. And like I say, if I'm traveling or if they ask me to come to this city, we there and we put on a good time, and we love on each other. Like I said, man, and I want them to know I'm accessible. You don't just know me on YouTube. I'm
Mm-hmm.
coming to your event. I'm coming to your city. I'm gonna pop up at your church. Whatever it
Yeah.
is, it's different. It's different with me, and so I think the people that's genuinely tapped in see and understand and know that.
Now, how you balance your work life and your family life?
Um, being retired, you kind of are able to merge the two a little bit. So listen to this, Nick. My wife loves to travel. So the
Okay.
speaking, listen, look how the Lord works. The speaking gives us a chance to travel, which checks off her travel box.
Mm-hmm.
So then we might travel, I'm speaking, and then we'll do an event for my followers. You get so you see how the balance. So
Yeah.
I'm with her. I'm traveling with my wife. We getting to spend time in these beautiful places. We doing our thing. We having date night. We having couples night. But then I might in the morning I had to go speak, or in the late evening I had to go do my thing. Then when that's over, it's back to us again. And so I'm not the dude that I'm not the guy that leaves my wife home and I'm doing all this stuff. I'm looking like, nope, you can come with me. You can be a support. You can be part of all these experiences. And again, it's just a beautiful partnership. It's a beautiful covenant, all inclusive, all in one.
See, that's why you have to marry somebody that's aligned with you.
So true. You spitting all facts, Nikki.
You can't
You
marry nobody who want to stay at home while you do the work. Y'all doing
right.
it together.
So true. Great point. And that's the importance of being equally yoked. Like
Uh-huh.
she gets it. I do interact with a lot of women. A lot of women support Nikki, and so it ain't like it's a insecure thing. Like they
Uh-huh.
love her once they meet her, and so we can go to these places. She wants to go. She loves to travel. She know I'm gonna talk to all the guys, all the women that's there, cause they truly support. It's a for real. It's a whole
Yeah.
thing, and so I just love, like you said, having the right partner with the right understanding, with her own self confidence, that she's able to let me do what I need to do. Let the Lord use me the way He needs to use me, but
Yeah.
she right there, right beside me. You feel me? And so, again, that's been a good thing on this entire journey as well. And she's retired too, and so again, we just make our days around those type
It's
of
somebody.
type of events we have coming up. So it's good. It's good through and through.
Now, do you have any shout outs or thank yous to anybody out there that has helped you along the way?
Man, absolutely. I wouldn't be where I'm at without standing on the shoulders of other people. I want to thank Yvonne and her team first and foremost for connecting me with you. I want to thank my pastors, my mentors, people that pour into me. I want to thank my teachers along the way. I want to thank Michigan State, Wayne State, Saginaw Valley. I want to just thank my family, my close friends, my buddies. We call ourselves the circle. I just having good people in your life. You know what I'm saying? Having a good support system. I'm thankful for all of them. They all play some role, whether big or small, in me remaining humble on this journey, me staying anchored in the Lord on this journey, and so I'm forever grateful and thankful to a lot of people.
Yes. And that's what Nikki Rich Show is all about. We put God first in everything we do. And people always say, how do you get so many great guests? That's like, it ain't nobody but God. He giving us.
Yep, that's
God is
true,
so
man.
good. Now, before we go again, tell us where they can connect with you, follow you, and just be a part of your movement.
Absolutely, guys. ChrisSain.com. My name ChrisSain.com is my website where you can reach me. But I'm primarily on YouTube. and I do have a little presence on Instagram and Facebook.
Mhm.
Again, same name, Chris Sain. Like I say, real name, no gimmicks. And so you can find me there. YouTube is my main place I am, and so and then my Patreon group as well. Just some special individuals inside there. So those are some vehicles you can reach me through. If you
Mhm.
guys want to connect or tap in or just see what we do, see how we help so many people each and every day, each and every week, each and every month.
Mhm. Well, I'm so honored again to talk with you, and you are welcome back anytime because I know you're going to Canada and you're going everywhere. You can check in with us here at the Nikki Rich Show. Follow up with us, let us know what's going on because we want to continue following you,
I
so
appreciate it.
check in with us so we can see what's happening with Chris.
I appreciate it, and I will do that, man. I thank you for this
Mhm.
opportunity. I'm thanking you for having me on today, and hopefully our conversation was edifying and fortifying to your audience and your listeners,
Yes.
and they got something from it, whether from you or me.
Yes, and I'm telling you, we telling everybody, about this interview, this exclusive. Our thing is like, Instagram. Like you got the YouTube, we got the Instagram and the TikTok on live.
Nice,
So
nice.
yeah, but we're gonna definitely share and showcase yours. What all you got good going on, and like I say, continue to support. And we just thank you for being our guest today.
Man, I thank you for having me, man. You guys keep up the good work, and you have a blessed rest of your day, Nikki.
Yes, thank you so much. Have a great
Yeah,
one.
yeah, you too.
Thank you guys for watching the Nikki Rich Show.